My brother left his bride at the church because his bride invited our mother and she. We are 37, 35, and 31 years old. My brother's ex-fiancée is 33. We are not in Canada. I have two older brothers, and this story is about the middle one. Our parents divorced when I was very young due to our mother's extreme jealousy. Initially, my dad managed to deal with it, but when she started making comments about me wanting to be like his wife, he reached his limit. She quickly moved on with a man who had two kids and shared custody with my dad for a while. However, when my dad remarried, she went off the rails, calling his new wife every horrible name and accusing him of cheating during their marriage. I was always closer to my brothers and dad than to my mom because she was consistently mean to me. Long story short, my stepmom Linda died in a terrible car accident, and my dad called my mom in the middle of the night to inform her that he would pick us up earlier so we could attend the funeral. Instead, she decided to take us on a fun trip to celebrate something. It was the happiest we had ever seen her, and when we found out what happened and started crying, she told us only worthless people cry for the dead. Needless to say, things went nuclear, and my dad sought full custody with visitation rights for her. He always kept the line of communication open and paid for us to visit her when she moved away, but it was still very bad. As soon as we turned 19, we began to limit contact with her. The last time we saw her was at my high school graduation, where she made a point of letting everyone know we were ungrateful kids, and her husband Steve called us bad names, too. We have been no contact since then. My brother John started dating his ex-fiancée Emily 4 years ago. She had heard all the stories and the reasons for our no contact, but she believed we were just being dramatic. They had many issues due to her opinions, but she eventually seemed to drop the "you need to reconcile with your mother" crusade. During the wedding planning, there were no indications of problems or anything suspicious. Then we got to the church and lo and behold, my mom, her husband Steve, and their two kids were sitting at the front. I immediately panicked and called my brother's John, thought maybe somehow she found out and wanted to crash the wedding, so he called Emily to inform her of the potential drama. She told him it was fine because she had invited them. John hung up and asked me to go get him while our oldest brother Michael dealt with things at the church. We went home and barricaded ourselves there even when Emily, her family, and friends came to try and reason with him. My mom's husband Steve even called and said he always knew we were worthless. Now that the dust has settled, most of John's friends are on his side, as is most of our family. Our dad and Emily's parents have already threatened to sue for the money they spent if he does not marry her, but John says he would rather pay them back for their contribution than marry someone who betrayed him. My immediate family 100% supports John, but the backlash has been huge. Some have commented about it, but no, Emily has not apologized. She even went so far as to text Michael that she thought it would be a good wedding present for John to her since she values family. My dad bought them a house as a wedding present, but only John is on the deed. Emily did have keys for when they moved in, but they just had the locks changed today. Michael and some cousins are taking everything John owns from her flat this week. We are not worried about being sued, but we will consult a lawyer just in case. We also heard that our mom and her family are still in town, but since we are all staying at our childhood home for a few days, we do not care. My dad is sad that John is heartbroken, but is trying to cheer him up along with my colleague David and my sister-in-law Sarah. I had to delete my social media accounts because I kept getting nasty comments and messages. However, the more people learn the reason Adam ran away, the less it happens. I am still sorry she felt humiliated, but my brother comes first. I asked Michael about the aftermath at the church, and it was just as I expected. He said he stood up in front of everybody and told them Adam was not coming and to please go home. He also said that all their gifts delivered to our side of the family would be given back as soon as possible. Emily was still outside the church when someone in her family informed her, and she started screaming, crying, and calling Adam non-stop. My mom tried to talk to Michael, but he didn't even look at her. When she couldn't get a reaction out of him, she started crying loudly and lamenting how horrible we are to her, and some people started consoling her. This is her modus operandi, but Michael and his wife didn't care. When they went out of the church, Emily was expecting them and demanding to see Adam, but Michael said no. Then she demanded to know what to do about the party, and he said if she didn't want the venue, he would arrange for the food to be donated to the staff there so it wouldn't go to waste. Everybody was screaming except Michael because he didn't want to give Mom the satisfaction. Michael and his wife came home after stopping at the supermarket and some fast food joints, and we have been inside like we are kids again, plus 2 more members. We asked Adam if he wanted them to go, but he said he wanted them there. We had all taken time off to spend family time after the wedding anyway, so it's not a problem at the moment. When Emily came to the gate, we knew she was not going to use the venue, so my sister-in-law called them with Adam's info, told them to take the food, and also sent them some tips for their trouble. It seems we will get back all the alcohol that my dad paid for, so we will have a very drunk end of the year. A couple of people messaged me asking why our dad ever married our mom, and the answer is he really loved her and believed she was the nicest person ever. It turns out she wasn't, but she knew nobody except, I guess, her nasty husband would marry her unless she pretended to be nice. He considered staying with her until we were adults, but she kept getting worse. She used to get very nice, and he thought she was changing, and then she would change again. As for Emily, we have no doubt that she believes Mom is a nice person who has ungrateful children because she is extremely charming, and for some people, it is funny to make fun of others as long as it's not directed at them. But it still doesn't excuse Emily. The only person Adam gave an explanation to was his boss, who was at the church. But he is very understanding and was pretty shocked by what Mom put us through since we are fairly well-adjusted, happy people. Our dad said that it was a shock for all of us, and we can stay home as long as we need. Adam is moving home for the time being. I showed my family the post, and they are moved by your kindness. But Adam wants you all to know Emily wasn't showing any concerning behaviors, and he truly believed she understood his upbringing. He agreed to talk to her and her parents today, but only if it's at our home and we are there to support him. So it's going to be an interesting visit. First, some extra info. Adam lost some money, but it's not going to hurt him. Emily's parents paid for her dress, a very fancy cake, and part of the honeymoon. Emily wasn't the most beloved in-law, but we truly believed she loved Adam. We have no contact with Mom's side. Michael used to have some contact with Grandma, but after his wedding, another show avoided, he cut her off too. Mom's comments about me wanting to be the wife came from her belief that we always enjoyed daddy-daughter days or outings with our dad. The thing is, there were also Daddy Joe days and Daddy Adam days. He always tried to spend time with us alone and as a group. She is just sick. We don't talk much about our childhood, so when people ask us about our parents, the standard answer is just my dad or it's just my siblings and my dad. Most people assume our mom is dead, which helps avoid the whole inquiry about not talking to her. Mom's stepkids are both male and in their early 30s. Dad has a long-term girlfriend, and we like her a lot. She has been doing her own stuff these past few days, but she says we have her full support now. Adam accepted the meeting after not even talking to Emily because she sent videos and photos of all his things on the floor to his best friend Tom and told him that Adam either talked to her or she would destroy it all. Tom came to visit Adam, told him what happened, and they informed her they needed access to the flat before anything happened. Tom, Michael, a couple of cousins, and my boyfriend went and took his clothes, electronics, and important paperwork. Adam said he didn't care about the rest and even joked about them being the fastest-moving crew he knew. The meeting was, for lack of a better word, ridiculous. Emily came with her parents and sisters and tried to talk to Adam alone, but when he didn't allow it, she just started talking. Not once did she apologize. She said it wasn't her fault we didn't understand the value of a real family and that we were raised to hate mothers. She claimed her only intention was for Adam to learn to value mothers because she was scared he would take her children away from her because that's what he was taught to do. Adam didn't say anything until she referred to this family as a cult and called our dad a terrible father. This is a sore spot for all of us, and we don't allow insults towards our dad under any circumstance. Adam just unloaded about how she was a hateful liar. He said he was disgusted he ever touched even her hand and was grateful to the universe that I am chronically early to everything. He told her that staying with a cheating husband, as her mom does, is nothing to be proud of. He said she pretended to be nice just so he would marry her, and unloaded all the minor things he was willing to overlook because he truly did love her, or at least who he thought she was. He said he would never forgive her for the hurt she caused his siblings, but didn't hate her because that would require him to spend energy thinking about her, and she doesn't get that. In the end, he said she had enough time to clear things up, and since she acted like a victim, He would be the one to let everybody know why he didn't show. It was brutal, but cathartic and necessary for Adam. Her parents said nothing but were very red. She was crying, and her sisters attempted to defend her and their parents' relationship, expecting my whole family to argue too, but we didn't. Then Adam told her dad he could sue if he wanted. But if he did, Adam would expose all his family's dirty laundry to the world. And he doubted he wanted that. Amazingly, her dad still argued that Adam could try and make amends and marry his ex because they are not getting any younger, and all families fight. I've never rolled my eyes harder. The rest of the meeting went about logistics for the return of the wedding gifts already received, stopping the harassment from their family, the cancellation and refund of the honeymoon, and the changing of the locks. Emily just kept crying and trying to talk to Adam, but he was in business mode and didn't want to engage. Adam didn't respond to anything Emily said. He only replied when she mentioned keeping her engagement ring, even though nobody asked for it. They left without issues. When the booze was delivered, Mom and her husband sneaked through the gate when we opened it. She said she just wanted to talk to her babies, and my dad asked her to leave. She kept screaming that he raised us wrong and that we embarrassed her with our behavior. She couldn't believe we were such bad people and said we should start making amends with her because we clearly lacked maternal love. She got that right, and this was the pathetic result. At that point, Michael went out and told her to leave since the police were on their way. She took it as an opportunity to cry, since it was the first time in about a decade he talked to her, and tried to sweet-talk him into going to grab dinner with her and her husband. But Michael just told her to leave and said the only news he ever wanted to hear related to her were the ones about her funeral, so he could go celebrate. Cue hysterical crying and screaming from her husband, demanding an apology and threatening to hit Michael. Dad and Michael went back inside and left them there until they saw them leave and then closed the gate. It is hard for some people to understand why we react like we do, but the things I wrote about our mother are just the tip of the iceberg. Dad wasn't exactly proud of what Michael said, but he understood he needed to let it out and that he was speaking for all of us. Maybe that makes us bad people, but we truly don't want to see this woman ever again. We are all going to have some family therapy besides our individual sessions. Adam doesn't want the house anymore, but my dad says to take it slow, and the first step is to mend his heart. We have had horror movie marathons and some Disney classics sprinkled in there. We also had a drama bingo thing going on for all the things that could possibly happen, because I guess we are truly dramatic after all. We love each other and were raised to treat people well, but we can be petty when pushed. I also feel better knowing she humiliated herself, and while I wouldn't wish being left at the church on anyone, I would do it again because I love my brother more than I feel bad for her. We will be going on a family trip eventually, but right now, we will continue our staycation. To the person that said Michael is a hero, his siblings couldn't ask for a better brother and friend. We've read everything so far. Thank you for letting me vent, for the awards and the messages. I am sorry if my English is not up to the standards. Michael and Adam's names are obviously fake, but Daniela, go yourself. Little note, my brothers are reading your messages and comments. They want you to know we know how lucky we are and appreciate the positivity. They want those in the same boat to know it gets better, and you are all welcome to our cult. More clarifications. If you want to message me, it is fine, even if it is to insult us. Please know I will only answer in public form. Michael wasn't parentified. To the person who wrote me a mean essay about it, here is the answer. My brother spent time with me because they wanted to. We had special days together or with each other. They did all the activities they wanted, had many friends, went on trips with me or alone, etc. There were nannies, family, and my dad. They were never forced to take me with them against their will. They had a lot of freedom within reason. My parents divorced when I was 3, and even if there was shared custody, we stayed 90% with Dad and we never visited our mother unless we were in at least pairs. The only times Michael or Adam visited her after turning 18 was when I was requested to visit because they didn't want me to go alone. We have all been in therapy for a very long time. We are just having special sessions because we saw our mother, but Michael was the only one that interacted with her. Also, please know that Adam and I know how to defend ourselves and didn't ask Michael to confront her. He did it by himself. Why didn't my dad go to the church with Michael? Because he was asked by Adam to go home. We didn't think he needed to see the woman even if he had to talk to her after. Adam has cried. He is not a monster. He is heartbroken, thought he would spend the rest of his life with Emily, thought he was a good judge of character, and thought he didn't have to see our mother ever again. There are many emotions going on, but because of our upbringing, we are very good at keeping our emotions in check in front of people we don't trust or like. It was a survival skill we developed to deal with how we were treated. Michael had a relationship with Grandma but stopped talking to her after she invited our mother as her +1. There was no religious ceremony, the venue had security, and there was a no-entry list. He sent Grandma a letter and didn't talk to her again. We also didn't attend her funeral. The wedding was about 250 guests. When making the wedding list and seating chart, Emily used other names, which is how we didn't know about it. Emily is not Brazilian. My dad requested that I inform you all that his kids are not alcoholics. He is worried about people thinking that, even if this is anonymous. Anyway, this week has been really chaotic. Those who said to be prepared for the pregnancy tactic were incredibly accurate. Emily posted it online. People were freaking out again and calling Adam, asking him if it was true. Adam called her and asked that she delete it. She continued claiming she was pregnant. He asked her to delete it and to come talk about it. She deleted it, met up with Adam, and somehow this crazy woman thought he wanted her back. I went with Adam. She was very happy until she saw me enter the place. She started crying, holding her stomach, and when Adam asked her if she really was pregnant, she said yes, and told him she didn't want her child to be from a broken family. Adam told her they were going to the doctor immediately to know for sure, and she cried even more, screaming he didn't trust her. Long story short, she isn't pregnant, but she posted that Adam was forcing her to have an abortion and she was devastated. As you may imagine, this was a horrible thing to say. People were calling Adam because they are so whiplashed from the drama they don't know what to believe anymore. When my sister Anna found out about the posts, she called Emily. I am unsure what was said in that conversation, but I have never seen Anna this angry. The posts are down, but Anna wrote an email with all relevant information, including that Emily was never pregnant, and sent it to everybody on the wedding list. This morning, we heard Emily had a breakdown after leaving voicemails telling Adam if she couldn't be with him, she wanted to die. This is another tactic straight out of our mother's playbook, and Adam simply called the police and told them what happened. Her family forced her into therapy, and she is in observation right now. It brings us no pleasure that it came to this, but we don't want to get involved anymore. We are also changing our numbers and have already requested it. Our mother emailed Anna threatening to sue her for defamation regarding the email blast, but we are not worried about it either. Anna's parents are amazing, and they have made it perfectly clear they are on our side and 100% agree with the way she handled things. Michael was enraged, but Anna convinced him to let it go. We decided to simply move on. Mom's husband has been a peach, as usual. Dad is considering a restraining order, but they are not very effective in our country. We did have a get-together at home yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. There was karaoke, dancing, nice food and drinks, games, and even a bouncy house, because why not? We loved them. Most people avoided the topic of the wedding and the posts, but those who brought them up did so tactfully. Dad had already given away a lot of the alcohol to his employees. They got to choose what they wanted and received a bottle each. He is also adding bottles to his Christmas baskets this year. We're going to spend the holidays together and travel. I told Adam about the new paint for the house, but he just doesn't want to live there. He will rent it out. I made a joke about simply eloping or not having a proper wedding to avoid drama. And Michael told me in no uncertain terms that I get the biggest party ever if I choose to, so yeah, he is still the best. Thank you for your nice comments and messages, not thanking the mean ones. The awards and the interest are appreciated. Sorry to the nice Daniels out there, it wasn't for you. Holiday update, thank you for all your interest. You are very nice, and it's always a blast logging in and updating you on our cult. First, some points. Hi, best sub and YouTube. You're part of the family lore now. I do read every single comment and message, etc. Some commented that I particularly lacked a feminine figure in my life, but I had my grandma, aunts, etc. My dad's girlfriend Rita is not a mother figure, and I don't feel like I'm a bad woman because of it. When I had my period and told my dad, he had a whole thing prepared. Then he informed my brothers, and each had a whole thing prepared themselves. They each had their own approach, and the others didn't know about it. Long story short, I had 3 men taking care of it and even doing a presentation about it. It might sound super awkward for me, but it was even more awkward for them. It's a hilarious story and reminds me how much they thought about me all the time. Rita is amazing and we love her, but she has no problem not being married to my dad. My dad doesn't want to get married again, but if he did, we would support him. Emily is okay. Her sisters tried to make a huge drama and accuse us of being horrible, but after the email sent by Anna, nobody is buying it. One of them was also dumped by her boyfriend because he didn't want to be related to a toxic family. I will not disclose where we live or what our dad does for a living, so please don't ask about it again. We have new numbers, new social media handles, and are planning to move. Michael and I also have a little note with a fake real names relation and type my posts in Wordits mainly so I don't mess up my ramblings. My dad wants you all to know your applications to the cult have been accepted. Anyway, I checked the last update, and I can't believe it was only in early November. I have mainly good updates for you. Adam is doing well. He is taking time off work. His boss is very understanding about him needing time and told him he can always come back. He is still living with Dad and has savings, so he is not worried about that aspect. He is running now and has decided to run a marathon next year. He is more and more his goofy self and is doing renovations at home. In other words, Dad and Adam are trying to paint some rooms and do murals. It is hilarious, and they have a lot of fun. Emily wrote him a letter, but he sent it back. The house was put on the market as a rental, and he is okay with it. I am engaged. It turns out it has been months in the making, and when I made the joke about eloping, my future husband Matt panicked. I discovered the plan he spoke. Matt spoke with Adam, who already knew of the plans because Matt didn't want to make him uncomfortable. But Adam said it would actually make him uncomfortable if he didn't. Matt also spoke with Michael and my dad. My dad made him sweat when he asked for my hand, saying it was not his to give, but they say it was all in good fun. It happened earlier this month. I am very excited, but not as much as my dad. He says he wants to walk me down the aisle even if it is a civil wedding. While my news is amazing, I believe the other big news around here is even better. Michael and Anna have been on the adoption list for a while, and as of a couple of weeks ago, they have a baby. She is the most beautiful, sweet, best baby ever. The adoption is final, as it usually is in our country for newborn or almost newborn babies. We knew they wanted to adopt for a while, so when they told us about the baby being officially theirs, there was a lot of crying, but happy crying. Dad is in full grandpa mode, and even as bad as some things got this year, this is the best thing that happened to our family. Mom did learn about the baby and demanded an introduction. She has been served our version of an order of protection. She will never lay eyes on her if we can help it. Those are the bad news. Due to the new situation, we decided to stay home. With the new baby, we wouldn't travel, of course. We had a Christmas and engagement small gathering last weekend, which Michael and the baby didn't attend since she is too young, but they were there via Zoom. We all agreed to give Adam some goofy gifts, such as t-shirts, mugs, sweatshirts, etc. of Julia Roberts, since, he is the runaway bride of the family. The reason Michael and I are considering moving is that we live in flats at the moment, and we want to live in houses. We are still shaken up and we know we have work to do, but we know we have so much and we want to focus on it because the negative is in the minority. And no matter what happens, I am always, always grateful for my family. I believe this will be the last update, folks. I know the last ones have been mainly drama-free and might not be as exciting, but we aim for that. Not planning on deleting anything, the account will be here in case something worth updating happens. I wish you all the best end of year and an amazing 2024. Catch up, High Cult. I guess we should catch up, whoever still wants to know what is going on with the cult. First, some points. Due to popular demand, yes, our native language is Spanish. Adoptions are final in our country, done by the government, and we rarely get situations like open adoptions. Michael and Anna had been on the waiting list for a bit since they decided that is how they wanted to have kids together. I said Hamus as in we have, like when they announced the Pope, LOL. We are now 35, 33, and 29. HB was supposed to mean husband, but I love the huge bastard interpretation. It works both ways, honestly. Michael and I moved as we planned last year. The year has been pretty good, just minor drama around. Daniela can still go herself, though. Anyway, let's do the kind of bad news first. Emily came back with a swing we were not expecting. She is pregnant and claims to whomever would listen that Adam is the dad. Sadly for her, it is literally impossible for him to be the father since he was not even in the country when the baby would have been conceived. But she had no way of knowing that. Adam has offered repeatedly to have a paternity test done, but she refuses. Adam is safe legally. He just feels bad for her baby. Emily's dad did sue Adam for emotional distress of two of his daughters, Emily and the one whose boyfriend left, but nothing happened since it was dealt with. Surprise, Michael is a lawyer. It is relevant info for this catch-up, I promise. Adam decided not to do anything against him since he has. Adam decided not to do anything against Emily's dad since he has too much on his plate and feels pity for the family. Mother still insisted on meeting the baby, but that will never happen. She dusted off one of her favorite tactics, claiming she has cancer. She contacted Michael and Anna through their work emails and begged them to help with meeting the baby since she is so sick and might need a transplant or something. This is like the 5th time she has claimed to have cancer, but in reality she has had cancer a total of 0 times. She loves the attention, the suffering, the drama, and all that bad people like to bring out of others. We never believed her, of course, but what we did not expect was that she would make a fool of herself when she contacted Anna's mom on Facebook. Anna's mom is a lovely, good Catholic lady, so Mother must have assumed she would be easy to manipulate. She told her about her cancer and how heartbroken she was to not meet the baby. Anna's mom proceeded to ask a couple of questions about the diagnosis and treatment which made no sense as expected. Then she blocked her and posted the screenshots on her wall. It is like high school drama only with older folks, and it has hilarious comebacks. The baby is otherwise very happy, very healthy, and the only controversy regarding her was the question of what Rita would be called. Not by Rita, but by our mother, who claimed Rita had no right to be called Grandma. Michael and Anna talked with Rita, and they all agreed that for all intents and purposes, she is Grandma Rita, and Mother can do nothing about it. Adam is doing well. He quit his job and started something on his own. He is still living at the family home, renting the other house, and kind of seeing someone. She is nice, knows about all the stuff, makes amazing cakes, and knows how to knit. We like her, so we are both positive and cautious. They are taking it slow, but it is nice to see him with someone like this. He also kept on painting rooms with Dad, and the results are, please remember I love these two, embarrassingly funny, ridiculous, and like something you do in kindergarten. Dad got COVID for the first time, and he got so scared he decided to update his will. That is why Michael's profession is important. They wanted Adam and me to know about it when they finished it up. Everything he owns is divided in 4 his kids and the other quarter to any grandchildren. However, the family house is not to be divided and is going to be put in my name soonest. I was a bit confused, but Michael and Dad discussed it and wanted me to have it if and only if Adam agreed. He did and is very happy about it. They did not really offer many explanations other than it was the right thing to do. I sense it is a little because I am the baby, but it is okay. Michael bought a house in the same neighborhood as our family home, so even if they are not on the same block or anything, they are close by. Matt and I are not buying anything anymore since I will be getting the house and it would make no sense. We moved to the family home and it has been interesting but nice. Dad has started semi-retirement and spends more days at Rita's, so it works for everybody. Adam will of course get to stay there as long as he wants, but his murals will have to go LOL. We are still engaged, still happy, still enjoying babysitting and still not pregnant, but got a cat during the spring. We are planning a December wedding and could not ask for a better end of the year. So that is it. No drama, or at least not huge drama. We are moving forward and healing continuously, which is the way we like it. In case you wonder why I decided to post now, one of us is a huge fan of Best of Redditor updates, and we got reminded about the posts. Anyway, greetings from the cult, and we wish you all a good last few months of 2024. Catch up! Hello, Reddit! First, as is tradition, we now have 2 cats. Adam moved in with his girlfriend, and we just love that he is happy again. Dad is semi-moved in with Rita. It has been bittersweet, but overall we remain positive and supportive of each other. Let's do bad news first. It turns out that there was indeed cancer on our mother's side, just not hers. One of her stepchildren actually had it and passed away at the beginning of the year. She is milking it for all it is worth, and we are disgusted by her as usual. While we can empathize with the loss, we are not changing our stance on being no contact with her and her whole family. Emily had her baby, a very cute boy that is not Adam's. Not that we ever doubted that. She did try to make him recognize him and sign stuff, but he refused, and after the test there was nothing she could do. She did lose it when she heard Adam was seriously dating, and even more when he moved in with his girlfriend. She still believes he is the one for her, and is fixated on it. She tried to cyberbully the girlfriend, but this woman is made of something else. Oh, and yes, the father of her child is the married co-worker in his 50s, which is another show from what we have heard, but not ours. Adam moved in with his girlfriend. He is still in therapy, we all are, but doing much better. His girlfriend is a very well-liked and beloved member of the family. She understands everything that has happened and integrated perfectly. He is also doing great in other areas and ran his first marathon, not the best timing, but hey, he did it. Michael, Anna, and the baby are very happy. They are still on the list as interested in adopting since they would like to have at least one more. I also wanted to explain something again. In my country, adoptions are not done by agencies. You get on a list after some tests and interviews to see if you are a good candidate, and when it happens that you match, you get the baby. That baby is yours, and that is it. I know I'm still a bit vague, but please remember we are not from the US, and things are different in each country. Apart from that, the baby is just the best baby ever. Yes, I might be biased, but she also gets told no a lot because we all agree that she should not be spoiled or, well, too spoiled. She has a room at our house, a playpen at Rita's, and one at Adam's because they are looking for a permanent house and do home office. Dad is basically living with Rita now. She's pretty happy about it, and they took a couple of trips recently. They love being grandparents and are very hands-on. They now claim 3 grandbabies since the cats sometimes go there too. It is hilarious because my dad was not so warm on the idea of cats at first, but now he even takes photos of all his babies and prints the best ones because that is what he is used to. He also shares progress updates with his friends, and sometimes they are confused if he is talking about the cats or the baby since he gets so excited about anything they do, and he buys them all too many toys in my opinion, but apparently that is what a grandpa does, LOL. We did get married in December. My dad walked me down the aisle even if we did non-traditional stuff for my country. Michael was Matt's best man. Adam was my best maid. He insisted on being called Julio the whole planning process when it was about the wedding. Mother did try to come and tried to convince Anna's mom about it, but she would not tell her anything. Some of Mother's relatives said it was undignified, unsure if it is the right word to have Rita there instead of my own mother. But, well, I think it is disgusting to condone her actions, so to each their own. We had a blast, and it was not stressful at all. Nobody ran away, nobody cried out of sadness, nobody tried to make a scene. We are remodeling a part of the house to make it more ours, and not to be in my childhood bedroom anymore, but so far everything is going very well for the cult. Adam got slightly fewer Julia Roberts gifts, but he wears his t-shirts with pride all year round. On a last bit, Adam's girlfriend has approached us with the idea of proposing to Adam when the time is right, so who knows, maybe this time he actually makes it to the altar.